Race 2 at Sandown on Saturday, 1,000 metres for the Coral Charge. It is a group sprint. It's attracted a field of 10, and these are they, just picking out a couple of them. The top rated in there is Arecibo, second at Royal Ascot. Also have a little look at Lazuli in there, rating 112. We'll be talking about him in a moment or two's time, but your initial thoughts on the field of what we've got?
Arecibo is the key horse because he's the highest rated horse in the race. That rating comes from his most recent performance, but is it for real? He came home really strongly, a career best effort in the King's Stand Stakes, but that was an unusual race tactically. As you know, Nick, they went a million miles an hour. That's perfect for Arecibo. I'm not sure that Saturday's race sets up quite so perfectly for him.
I did worry a little. He was only rated 104 at Royal Ascot, but the retrospective hit is £9. He's now 113. Let's have a look at Lazuli. I'll stick with you, Graham. Lazuli. I'm never too sure exactly what it is, but we were in here, of course, previewing 2,000 Guineas Day at Newmarket. This was the Palace House Stakes, one of the races previewed, and it was Lazuli who came out on top.
Absolutely, and three friends reunite here, and the two who chased home Lazuli on this occasion came from the dark, and Arecibo had excuses to major and minor degrees. Arecibo was certainly squeezed at a crucial point, came for the dark, had to wait for a run. But what's not to like about a horse like Lazuli? He's very straightforward. He's got a very good record at Sandown. I think he defied a small penalty here. He has a small penalty again this weekend. But he's very, very progressive. As you can see, the grey horse in the shoe colours, the shoe family colours, just finds trouble getting a run. Arecibo has already been squeezed. Lazuli doesn't hang around to take advantage. Three closely matched horses, John. How's it shake down this weekend?
I think Lazuli have confirmed the form, Graham, because in the Palace House they went a pretty strong gallop there. As you said, they went an even stronger gallop than the King's Stand, which definitely helped Arecibo. Came from the dark, was unlucky. But here in the charge on Saturday, there's only really Atari Bay who really wants to go forward. Now, it's a 5 furlong race. They'll go pretty quick, but I think Lazuli will just be off the back of that speed. The other two, I think, do need that strong gallop to be seen at their best. And I think Lazuli might be in a good place to fend them off.
Let's have a look at Atari Bay. Recently at Sandown, within the month of June, this was the horse winning the Scurry Stakes. He put up a good performance the time before when chasing home a rattling quick horse at York. And in doing this, winning the Scurry, and then going on to this assignment on Saturday, he's looking to emulate Batash, who did it a few years ago.
Yeah, he's not as good as Batash, but he's quick and he's progressive. And some would say he's from the right age group. The 3-year-olds, I think, have won 7 of the last 10 renewals. Yep. That's not a stat that I'm going to really cleave to. But he's banging form. Sandown's a plus for him. But I think on most ratings, John, whether you look BHA, Racing Post ratings, Time Form ratings, they'll all give him at least a couple of lengths to find. £7 or £8 more improvement needed if he's to win this weekend.
Yeah, he does require that, but he's the almost certain leader. They don't bet on these things, but with about 2.5 furlongs to go, he'll be in front. It's just a question of can others get past him. I think 1 or 2 will, but he's in the numbers.
Right, let's have a quick look at Arecibo and what he did at Newmarket over on the Rolling Mile course back in May. I was lucky enough to be here this day. There were 6 runners, Graham, 4 of them trained by Robert Cowell, and I think he was quite pleased with this result. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the yard.
Yeah, hats off to Robert. They call him the Spring King, and Arecibo is one of his masterpieces so far.
Just
I think he'd lost 20 in a row before he came to Robert. He is a revelation nowadays, but he does need a certain set of conditions. He needs holding up, perfect ride for Jay Spencer. Yep. He needs a very strong gallop, and he needs leaders to be faltering late. That's where he got here on testing ground. He handles fast ground, no problem, as he showed at Royal Ascot. But tactically, John, I could see Arecibo coming strong and late, but having some strong rivals ahead of him when he does.
Yeah, I think so. I called this race that day at Newmarket. From about 2.5 furlongs to go, I thought Arecibo was going to win this because the first couple on the speed map there went far too quick, and he just absolutely cruised into it and won nicely. I would say he's the lay of the meeting for me, because I think he will just not get that race set up. And as Nick was saying before, I think his King's Stand Stakes has been a bit overrated.
Wow. I didn't necessarily think we were going to be saying that about Arecibo, but it's time to, the time for talking is over. It's time now to say who your selections are. Yeah,
I think we've talked about the main contenders. I'm going to go with Lazuli. He's been a good friend to me so far. Arecibo to come, picking up pieces for a place. Atari Bay, I think John's dead right. Tactically, he should be banging the mix. And Stone of Destiny is another horse who I think can run well at a price. He's been unlucky in 1 or 2 big races of late, and he's a hold-up horse. He needs the breaks, but I think he can get a piece of it.
John, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can take it from what we've just heard. It won't be number 3, Arecibo, up top.
Well, I like Arecibo, and as I say, he did me a decent turn each way in the King's Stand, but he's not going to get that sort of setup today. Lazuli, I thought was a really good run at Newmarket. He's done really well thus far in his career, and he'll just sit off the pace set by a Tarless Bane. I think he'll be too strong. Came from the Dark, was unlucky in the Palace House Stakes. I was a bit disappointed they didn't go to Royal Ascot with that horse, but I think this is ideal for him. He'll not be too far away. Look out for Ainsdale, ran pretty well in the Chip Chase Stakes. Back to 5 furlongs. I think he'll go all right as well.
Okay, that was the Coral Charge, fast and furious race 2 at Sandown.